Have the power. I have a wonderful guest today, Terry Hinton, who was born and raised in Roxbury, became a community Dorchester. I'm sorry, it says Dorchester. I read
Mhm.
Roxbury. Became a community activist from 2002 with an organization called Survivors Inc., advocating for people on the welfare system. Then became one of the founders of Boston Workers Alliance in 2009, fighting for Corey reform. She now volunteers for ESWA. What's ESWA?
Eastern Service Workers Association.
Okay, and that's Bowden Street, working on workers' rights. And she also is part of the Boston Mutual Aid, where they give aid to Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan through clothing and school giveaway. Also, unity in the community, bringing all grassroots organizations and vendors together to fight economic injustice. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Yes, it's it's good to see that you're still out here fighting the good fight. It's difficult for us people, but we have to stay in there and do the best that we can with what we got. So, you are part of the Boston Mutual Aid, and that is the organization that's assisting with the book bag giveaway, right?
Yes, that's right.
And so, we will have some flyers, but August 15th, 2026, from 1 to 3 at Torchlight Recovery, we will be giving out 100 book bags for school youth going back to school, and it's awesome. It's a great opportunity for us to network and get to know more of our people in the community, because we need to know our people, and we need to be able to talk to our people, talk to our youth as well as their parents, and get involved. This is an election year. The election is September 1st. For those who don't know,
Mhm.
and we gotta make some noise, for lack of a better word. So Terry, tell us how did this come about with the book bags?
So basically, I am working with a lady named Sabrina Salvati,
Mhm.
and she has her own YouTube channel.
Mhm.
So folks, check it out. It's called Sabby Sabs, and she
Mhm.
has her own YouTube channel. And so she decided that she wanted to do mutual aid
Mhm.
here in the Boston area. And
Mhm.
so since I'm already here in Boston, I'm like, you
Mhm.
know what, Sabby? Okay, I will join you.
Mhm.
So there's about 7 or 8, there's about 7 of us in that group.
Mhm.
And we started a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
Our first event was in Roxbury, right across the street from the post office.
Okay.
Um,
In that Social Security building?
yeah, it
Yeah.
was right across the street with the at the
Oh, the Marvis Garvey Center?
yes,
Oh, right. Okay, with
the
Greg
Marcus Garvey
Davis.
Center.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes. And so we did that. Was our first event there,
Mhm.
and we gave out we give out clothing, and we give out like first aid supplies, and we give
Mhm.
out food. And so
Mhm.
that was our first event that we did, and then we moved on to the libraries, and just recently in May, we had a pre Mother's Day brunch at
Mhm.
Grove Hall Library. That was pretty
Okay.
successful.
Mhm.
And we also had an event, and we gave out Christmas toys at the Bruce Bowling Building. That was a year ago. We did
Mhm.
that. So we've collaborated with Common Square Library.
Okay.
We did an event last year. Actually, we did an event there last year. We gave out the book bag giveaways there last year, right at Common Square Library. So we're so thankful to the librarians there,
Mhm.
that was more than willing to help us and host us there for that. And so now we have this year we have collaborated with Torchlight, with
Mhm.
we're really excited about. And so we're gonna give a book bag a giveaway there
Mhm.
on August 15th. It's just from 12 to 3. Just have to
Oh,
make a quick,
what I
yeah,
said 1 to 3.
yeah,
Okay.
12 to 3.
Okay.
There will be there on August 15th from 12 to 3. So we're pretty excited about that. So we believe, that it's important to
Mhm.
do mutual aid, and I had stressed, that I wanted to do mutual aid in the lower income areas,
Right, right.
because that's where it's
Needed.
needed at.
Right.
Yeah, and so I really enjoy being out in the community
Mm-hmm.
and talking to the people
Right.
and, finding out what their issues are and
Right.
what's going on in their lives. And, it's so important to let people know that that power of the vote really counts.
Right. Right.
If you don't get out there and vote, then
Mm-hmm.
how are you going to complain about something that's not being done in your neighborhood?
Right. Right.
So it's really important to get out there, get to know, the community and what the issues are and what they're fighting for, so that, as a grassroots organizer, that's what I want to do, is fight for the people's rights and fight
Right.
for, economic injustice. So and I feel like this mutual aid is really important because, especially in today's economy right now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
with all the budget cuts going on, we really need this aid in
Right.
the communities. And so that is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate
Mm-hmm.
about making sure that those communities get, what they deserve and what they need for the children and for their families.
Right. Right. Sabby, the woman that you're in partnership with, she also is. Excuse me. For those who don't know, she is the producer and director of the Erasure documentary, and it is very interesting. It went to the Roxbury Film Festival
Yes,
this
it
year,
did. Yes.
and it's just literally shows how we as black people are being erased, from Boston,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it almost brings tears to your eyes,
It does. It
to
does.
see how we are just systematically being um pushed away and kicked out, um and we have to do something about it because it
Mm.
doesn't have to be like that. We as a community, we need to be able to stand up and speak out for ourselves.
Right. Right.
There's a lot of issues going on at the state house and at city hall,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately every year we have an election, and every year the same old people get put back in, and so
Right.
we need to be looking at our elected officials for real, because we have September 1st, we have an election, and who
Right.
even know that there's an election going on?
Right.
It's the
Exactly.
state. We have our state senators, our state representatives. We have
District attorneys.
district attorneys, which is very important. And why in fact, the district attorneys race, we will be having the black part of the Black Agenda Coalition, and
Yes, I saw a flyer on that.
yeah, we it was supposed to be today, but it
Mm-hmm.
got pushed back.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's going to be next week, August 6th,
Okay.
at from what I don't want to speak out of term, but I believe it's going to be at the Thelma Burns building, but
Oh.
I'm not 100%. So, but I believe that's where it's going to be at. But
Okay.
because we want all three of the candidates
That's
there,
right.
because we want to hear. We know that Rachel Rawlings was in there before. We know that Kevin Hayden was appointed by Charlie Baker, and we know that Linda Champion was a assistant DA as well.
Right.
But
For
what
Kevin
do you
Hayden.
know these the district attorney is position, that's a very important position, especially to us, our people, our black and brown people, who does the sentencing, and when you go before them, that tells you how much time you're going to spend in jail, and so we hopefully and prayerfully, we'll have a full house. People will come out and ask the tough questions.
Right.
We also have we have state senators. We have, like I said, state reps.
Mm.
We got the governor's race going on, and it's just like nobody's like really talking about it, And
Right.
I think that's I think that our people feel like their vote don't count,
Right.
but your vote does count,
It
people.
does.
See, what they do is they count the numbers of people that come out and vote.
Mm-hmm.
And so whether you may not be like any of the candidates, but you can still go and vote.
Right.
Blank them, or put your name in, or put somebody else's name in.
Right.
Yeah. But you to go through that first step. It's very important.
Right.
And because that tells them, oh, well, these people, they're coming out to vote. They're not voting for any of our candidates. but we have to count them because they're voted.
Right.
They're voting, and we we're trying to get for the next 30 days a get out the vote campaign. Everybody, let's get out the vote.
That's right.
We really should be starting this in like in January or February, because every year automatic every other year there's a state vote, and then the opposite year is the city council. So the city councils are the odd years, which will be next year again. 2027 we'll be voting for the city councilors again.
Okay.
This year is the state. So the even years are the state elections, and the odd years are the local elections. And
Okay.
it's important. It's
It
very
is. It's
important.
very important because you know, people need to know that they have the power. If
Hmm.
you don't like if you don't like what your representative or your state senator is doing or your city councilor is doing, you should know that if you vote, you have that power to vote them out.
Right,
As
right,
quickly as you can vote them in, you can vote them out.
right.
So, I mean, it's very important, especially when you know, this government is really trying to suppress the black vote right
Hmm.
now. And,
Hmm.
we all know what happened with the Supreme Court and everything with
Yep.
civil rights and the voting rights and everything, how they basically almost like just gutted the voting rights. And let's
Hmm.
not even talk about the redistricting
Right,
and the
right.
redlining that's
Hmm.
going on. And then all of this is to suppress the black vote.
Right.
But we have been part of the voting rights for a long time. I mean, black people have died for
Yep.
voting rights, and
Yep.
so it's so important to keep this, to understand that there's power in that vote.
Yes, yes. It's so it's so sad that we have been through so much, over 470 years enslaved in this country. And sometimes it feels like we're still in
Right.
slavery.
Jim Crow
Yes, yes.
2.0.
It's I had my students watching is it Hidden Colors? Yeah, Hidden Colors #2. And I don't remember watching the whole thing, because there was a lot of stuff on there that I didn't even realize. And we have to, these documentaries and things that we're watching, like Hidden Colors started off with one, and I think they have at least 5 of them, and they're different series, and you have different people. Like I know Dr. Umar Johnson is in most of them. You have Dr. Booker Coleman, I believe that's his name. But there's so many. Actually, the one that I was watching, #2, um, Michelle, oh God, Alexander, who did
Oh,
the
okay.
new Jim Crow. She was in
Yes.
it, and these people, the history goes back so far.
Right. And then
I
she
mean,
have a
and
book project.
no, well, I know she did the new Jim Crow.
Okay.
She may have a second one out,
Okay.
but and it just if you listen to our history and what we were taught, as opposed to the real history, you have to wonder, you have to scratch your head and say, what in the world is going on here?
Right.
Because they go back further into the history. I mean, they went and they showed how Africa, how people went from people in China, people, Japanese people, Indian people.
Right.
I mean, they're all black.
Right. We were
You kn-
scattered in all parts of the earth. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's just it's amazing when you sit down and you watch this stuff.
Right.
And our young folks don't have a clue.
Right.
They don't understand it. And they're always and I feel bad for our young folks, because that's why I have my program, Marcus Anthony Hall, because I'm trying to train them and teach them about our history,
Right.
about civic engagement,
Right.
involvement.
Right.
But unfortunately, it seems like all they care about is that phone. That's all. It's
Right.
just it's sad how they're just kind of like programmed to
Right.
it. It's like,
Right.
oh, I need my phone, I need my phone, I need my
Right.
phone.
Yeah.
But there's so much knowledge. Yesterday we took a trip to the Museum of Fine Arts.
Okay.
And there's so much knowledge out there, and there's so many things that we don't know about, and that we need to know,
Right. Right.
And so I feel, I really feel for our young people coming up,
Yes, yes. I mean, and even at even as an older person, I mean, when I was a child, I was never taught about Black history.
Mm-hmm.
What I was taught about Black history was like from my family and
Mm.
how Black people contributed to society.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't through the textbooks at school, you know. I
Mm.
mean, and even till this day, I'm still learning,
You're right,
you know.
right.
And I mean, there's so much Black history that has happened that we don't know. I mean, and we think about all the inventions that Black people have contributed over
Mm-hmm.
hundreds and hundreds of years, and how some of these inventions were stolen, some of their patterns were stolen
Yep. Yep.
from other people.
Well, we were enslaved, so we didn't
Right.
have no rights. We weren't considered human beings. So the slave master just took whatever we created and made it their own.
Right.
And
Right.
so unfortunately, though, they want us to believe that um, slavery was what, that was it. We were slaves and that was it. No, we were kings and queens
That's
and were
right.
stolen from our
That's right.
country.
That's right.
And our young folks,
Timbuktu,
yeah,
the
I
European
mean,
Timbuktu.
when you hear the real history and the real stories, you tend to wonder, well, what happened?
That's right. That's
What
right.
happened?
That's right.
And so we have to get back to our roots.
Right.
We have to really dig in deep
Right.
to find out who we are, who we really are, and where
Right.
we come from.
Right.
And our young folks, they're the future.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
We're fading out.
That's right. Yeah.
And
we need
yeah,
the youth to be progressive
you're
and to
right.
take on the torch of where we left off and pass the torch on to them so that they can keep fighting for our rights.
Yeah, I was at City Hall a few weeks ago when because sometimes we go down on Wednesdays for the hearing. So sometimes the
Okay.
youth go down. Sometimes the sisters from the mosque we go down,
Okay.
and they literally some of our young folks literally just stopped the whole city council proceedings, and some of them were arrested. Some of them chose not to be arrested, so they left. But it just shows you that the youth are sick and tired too. I mean,
Right.
like,
Of
why you
course.
cutting our jobs?
Right.
That
Exactly.
some
That's huge.
believe it or not, some of those young folks actually help. Their little jobs help their parents
Of
and stuff.
course. Right.
And so it's just, I don't know.
Right.
It,
Yeah.
it's a lot, it's
Right.
a lot, and especially when you've been in your community and been doing community work for so
Right.
long,
Right.
it bothers you because one voice. But if we all put all our voices together,
That's
I
right.
believe we can make change.
Right. That's right. And that's another reason why I have another reason why I have worked with another group called Unity in the Community.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a group of us, and we and it's through True Era Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And we also do events in the community. A couple of years ago, we did an event at the Roxbury Heritage House.
Okay.
And then on August, a couple of weeks ago, we just did an event at it was at the Common Square Library, and we
Mm-hmm.
just did an event there. And what we're doing is we brought different nonprofit organizations in there to collaborate with each other to find out, how what they're doing in the community, and how they can benefit the community. And we're also having another event, Unity in the Community. We're having another event August 17th at the Grove Hall Library. And so
Okay.
what we're trying to do, so how it started was there was something called Motivational Monday Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And what we would do is we would all get together on Zoom or through Clubhouse, and we
Okay.
would just discuss like different issues, different topics.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to basically take Motivational Monday Podcast live.
Okay.
And so what we're doing is we're taking it to the different libraries now,
Mm-hmm.
and we're finding different organizations that are working in the community. And so, for people out there, just know that we're doing an event there August 17th at the
Mm-hmm.
Grove Hall Library, and that's from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Because, being out in the community, it's really important. This is the
Right.
only way you're going to know what's really going on. You have to be out the community. You have to talk to people. You got to know what's going on, and the more organizations, nonprofit organizations, and renders come together, the more we can help each other
Right,
to
right,
fight this, wicked system of capitalism.
right,
I
right.
mean, because if we don't help each other, who's going to help us? We
That's
have
right.
to learn to work together and help each other as in the communities, because as we can see, some of these agencies are not looking out for us. When
Definitely
you
not.
think
Yeah.
about all the rules and regulations that you have to have around just collecting food stamps,
Mm-hmm.
when you think about all the cuts and all the regulations that they're doing just to get basic needs,
Right,
it's
right,
it's really hard. It's getting harder and harder for people to survive each day. We look at the food prices, we
right,
look at the gas prices, we look at the housing, we look at daycare. A lot of parents can't afford daycare right now. A
right.
lot of parents, it's like, what do I do? I mean, I have, you'll be like, okay, I have to make a choice. Is it gonna be my medication or is it
Mm-hmm.
gonna be my food?
Right.
What am I gonna spend this on? So people are suffering right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
and so it's so important for all these different organizations in the community to work together to help each other. Because if we don't get together, if we don't stand together, who's gonna fight for us? No
That's
one. We only
nobody.
have ourselves.
That's right.
We
That's
only
right.
have ourselves. So for me, being out in the community, being a community organizer is so important to me. It's my passion. It's my love. It's what I like to do. I mean, when I worked around Corey reform,
Mm-hmm.
basically that was when Governor Deval Patrick was in office.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to help pass some of the Corey laws and
Okay.
here in
Right. Mm-hmm.
Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a big, huge march, and
Mm-hmm.
we marched from Roxbury all the way to the State House,
Mm-hmm.
and we was trying to make sure that bill got passed. We had a lot of organizations working on that,
Right.
and we were so proud to make sure that those where the time period where you can seal your record, it
Right.
changed
Right.
because
Right.
it was like 15 and 10, and then it went to 7 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we really worked hard around that issue of Corey reform, and because we worked so hard around Corey reform, people was able to then get jobs.
Right. Right.
Because you could seal your record, and it just opened up the opportunity for people to find jobs and really not be discriminated against because you
They
did
had.
have a Corey.
Right.
When
Right.
I was working in that organization, we would make sure that we worked with companies that would
Mm-hmm.
accept that were Corey friendly.
Right. Right.
And so that was so important. When people, I mean, we truly believe that people deserve a second chance when they're
Exactly.
getting out of jail.
Exactly.
Because oftentimes,
Especially they've already served their time,
right.
So why keep punishing them by not allowing them to have a place to live, a job? You're just being punished twice.
Exactly. I mean, and then oftentimes when you get out of jail, people don't know, where do I go to get my ID? How do I
Mm-hmm.
get my ID? They don't have the money to get an ID.
Right.
Housing, if it depends on the crime, like, are they going to be rejected from housing, or what's going to happen?
Right.
I
Right.
mean, and where do I, how do I go? Where do I go to apply for food stamps? So
Right.
all these are little sub issues that people really needed to, know and have information about. And so that was so important. And I know people are probably still working on criminal justice and things like that. There are some organizations out here that's still working on Corey reform and criminal justice. So that kind of work I did was really important to me. It meant a lot to me as well. And also, I just want to say, like, the organization that I'm volunteering for right now, Eastern Service Workers Association, which is at 247 Bolden Street. So we're always looking for volunteers. So people, feel free to come down and volunteer at Eastern Service Workers Association. We're all volunteers. None of us get paid for the work. And what we do down there is we advocate for low income workers, whether you're a Uber driver, Lyft driver, whether you work in a manufacturing company, whether you're a home health aide, whether you're a hotel worker. We always, we have meetings every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and we just speak about workers' rights and we try to find out, hey, is your boss treating you right? Okay,
Mhm.
well then, and we also have something called the winter summer campaign and the winter campaign. So
Mhm.
in the summer campaign, what we do is we make sure that our members are not, are being they have like air conditioners and fans and stuff like that, so that they're
Mhm.
not, you know, suffering when
Right.
we have
Right.
like really high heat
Right.
and high temperatures. And we do the same thing in the winter time. We want to make sure that the people, have
Have
enough
heat.
heat. Yeah. So that's really important.
It is. It really is, and it's good that there's agencies like yours that are out there because unfortunately we are just we I sometimes I feel like we're going backwards
Hmm.
instead of forward, and it's just it's sad. It really is sad.
Right.
And so if we win and if we come together, we have so much. We can help each other get so much done um, together.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so, but it's hard. It's really hard.
It is. It is hard. But I mean, when you have the attitude, like, what, when we fight, we win.
Right, right, right.
And I always believe that there's power in numbers, there's strength in numbers.
Yes,
And so for
yes.
me, that's really important to know is that if we have that attitude that there's strength in numbers,
Mm-hmm.
there's power in numbers, and when we fight, we
We
don't
win.
always win, but we
Yep.
still need to have that attitude of fighting. We
Yeah.
have to continue to keep fighting for what we believe in. Because if
Right.
we don't fight, and if we just lay down and just say, oh, well, forget it, we're not going to get anything accomplished. Nothing's ever going to get done.
No, no.
So it's important to keep fighting for
Uh,
whatever cause you believe in.
right. And there are a lot of causes. There are a lot of things that's going on. That are sad. Like when we think about the redistrict and stuff. I remember my friend. She's not my friend, but she my friend, Jasmine Crockett. When she was running, they redistrict
Yeah,
her
down in
district.
Texas.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so I mean, I really appreciated her. I
Me
appreciated
too.
her
I'm going to miss
voice.
her.
Yeah, because she spoke up and
She
she
did.
spoke out.
She did. And she was not afraid of any of them.
No, no, and that's why they did what they did.
Yeah,
So
of course.
um, it's back in the day that we did have real representation, but it just seems like it's this, you know, people are not the same, or they don't. It's all about the dollar now.
Right.
It's all
Right.
about the dollar, and we have been bought out. We have been sold, the goods, and we definitely have to come together. We have a lot of different radio broadcasts and different stations and stuff, and it would be nice if we could collaborate, and just get people talking and
Right.
get people to the polls.
Right.
I know that some of the reasons why people don't go to the polls is because they don't have transportation. We need to come and have a one number, where people can call and say, well, I'm gonna be, I need a ride this day.
Right.
I need a ride,
Right. Especially for the elderly and the
exactly.
disabled, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so these are things that we should already have set up, but it just seems like it just, I don't own no vans, but there are churches that own vans.
Right.
There are other organizations that have vans, yeah. I mean, I don't even understand why the city, but can't, the city that seniors shuttle.
Right.
Why can't you take somebody to
And,
the polls?
and I would like to see more of these faith-based organizations in these churches come more together. We have a lot of churches here in Boston.
A lot.
And I feel like, they should be coming together in the church community
Right.
and say, hey, listen, you know what, pastor this or deacon who or whatever, y'all, let's come together and let's make sure that our members get out and vote. So
Yeah.
I would like to see more of the churches be more unified,
Right.
and some of
Right.
the more faith-based organizations come more together and work with the churches to get the people to get out there and vote.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't know why this. Well, I do know why. Part of it is that Willie Lynch syndrome.
Mm.
That we just seem to
Mm.
to feel like we're more in competition. Instead of collaboration.
And that's sad.
And there are some that are out there doing stuff. Like I thank God for this radio station here.
Amen to that. Yes.
If we didn't have this radio station, we wouldn't know nearly half of the stuff that's going on.
Right.
Because
Yes.
we're able
Blessings
to
to this
talk.
radio station.
We're able to talk about the things that's going on in our community.
Yes.
And we don't do like a 2-minute sound bite.
Right.
It's like
Have a
we
real
take
conversation about
right.
what's going on.
Right. Talking about real conversation, y'all welcome to call us 617-282-0685, 617-282-7794, 617-265-2679. This is People Power with Priscilla and Terry Hinton. And remember, we are the people and we have the power. I'm going to keep saying that until the
That's
day I
right.
leave
We
here.
are the people. We have the power.
We definitely do. And, the things are being taken from us. We're losing our benefits. We're losing funding. You think about what's going on with White Stadium, with Blue Hill Ave, all these things. And it's like we don't have a voice. We can, and I know that we do have a voice. I think there was a big event at the State House yesterday where they were talking about the rent control. Like they had over 157,000 people that signed the petition saying that they want rent control. It just seems like just like when we wanted elected school committee. It's like you say we vote for these things, but they don't happen. So
Right.
so what's the problem? The
Right.
problem is the people that are in the office that are making decisions. They are the ones that need to go.
Right.
But unfortunately, it appears that they can't be moved. But they can be moved if we get out and vote.
That's right.
You know?
Yes.
And so I just believe, as my song say, a change is gonna come.
Right.
But we have to be the change makers.
Right.
We really do. We have to, inform our community, keep them informed, and let them know what's going on. Boston Praise Radio is a blessing to a lot of people. And it will be. We've been talking about this. I know Larry talks about it on his show. We need a every day, Monday through Friday,
Yes.
7 to 9,
That's
like
right.
like Touch used to
Yes.
be.
Yes.
So people can call in and talk. Because
Right.
there's a lot of people that may have something to say or may want to say something.
That's right.
But if we go, we go off at 9, 7 to 9 is that drive. People are on their way to work
Right.
or whatever. But some people, well, people don't even listen to the radio no more. I'm like, yeah, that's true. People don't listen to the radio, but a lot of people are still listening to the radio.
Right.
And we definitely need to, stay and keep the communication and the lines open and give people a choice.
That's right.
If you want to make a donation to Boston Praise Radio, the Cash App is $B PRTV. Send a little something. Just imagine if we had thousands of people sending in $5 a month,
Right.
$10 a month, um,
And I will definitely let the people know who I work with
Mhm.
about this radio station so
Mhm.
that they can donate to it. So I will definitely spread the word.
Right.
And if you all have any flyers, I'm more than willing because that's what I do.
Mhm.
I'm always out in the community doing outreach. So
Mhm.
if you all have any flyers you all need me to pass out to spread the word about this radio station, I'm more than willing to do it so that you all can stay up. And people can know who you are and what you do for the community.
Right, because it's been 15 years, 16 years, Renee? 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
a
what a
long
blessing.
time.
Yes.
And we shouldn't be struggling like we are.
Mhm.
It the phone should be jumping off the hook and money should just be pouring in.
That's right.
Because
It
we're
should.
trying to do, this is a community-based radio station.
Right.
We're here to help the community.
Right.
We have our elected officials come in, yes, because we want to hear from you.
Mhm.
We want to hear what you got to say or what you're not saying.
Right.
But it's basically community.
Right.
Entrepreneurs, those that have community-based organization,
Right.
business owners. You never know how what someone will say that's going to help or benefit you, you know.
That's
And
right.
so we have to keep it live, you know. We have to keep it up and running.
Right.
And so you know, there's just it's it's sad the way our conditions, you know. We every Tuesday I am part of the Nubian Square Task Force.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
I've been to some of those meetings
Mhm.
with someone.
Yeah, and every Tuesday we do a walk in Nubian Square
Yes,
where
I'm
we
aware of
try to
that.
give,
Yes.
you know, real-time services to people, you know, because people are hurting, you
Right.
know. The drugs, the guns, the violence, you know,
Right.
that's what my youth
Right.
are talking
And you all
about,
are
you
working
know.
with City Councilor Culpepper, correct?
Well, he's working with us because we've been doing
Oh,
this
okay.
before
So
he
he's
was,
working with you all.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he from I have the walk. I haven't been on the walks for a while. I just started coming back because I
Oh,
was sick.
right.
But from what I understand, Reverend Pepper, City Council Culpepper has been down there, and he is trying to help.
Right.
But you know, when you walk through there and you see the people and you see the conditions that they're in, you know, and there's everything that they're building. They're building all these homes and all this housing and stuff.
Gentrification.
Yes, and we can't even afford to live in
Yeah,
them,
none of
you
it's
know.
for us, right? We can afford to live down there.
And so, you know, what's gonna happen? They're still building, and you know, it's not gonna always look like it is now, you know. But it seems like our elected officials who are supposed to be there to help us,
It's
you know,
profit over the people. They care
yeah,
more about profit than the
yeah,
people.
they do. And the thing about it is, when they're gone, they can't take a nickel, dime, a quarter with them, you know.
Right.
And so, this is the world. This is you know,
Yeah, and this is happening. This gentrification is happening
everywhere. Yeah,
nationwide,
yeah,
not just here in Massachusetts. It's all over United States.
yeah.
Gentrification is going on.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't. They're trying to get rid of us, but they can't get rid of us. So,
We built this country.
among other things,
Right.
you know, and so, unfortunately, this is the state that we're in, you know, and our people need to wake up. And I don't know what it's gonna take. You know, we talk, we try to support. You know, we hold meetings. We do everything that we can. Our Black Agenda Coalition. We meet every Thursday at Torchlight from six
Oh,
to
okay.
eight. You
Okay.
know, it's an open forum. You
Oh,
know,
well, that's good. I
so
might have to come to those sometime and just
yeah,
see what it's like.
if you're
Yeah.
available, because we're trying to build something. We're trying to build unity among ourselves.
All
You know,
right.
because we have a problem with trust. We have a
We
problem with
do.
trusting each other,
Right.
you know. And so because of that, because of the lack of trust,
I,
things fall by the wayside.
right. And I think about like some of the earlier times, like in the 1970s, where we had the Black Panther Party and we had
Mhm.
the Black Liberation,
Yeah.
and we had so many different Black organizations then, and unfortunately, a lot of those Black organizations were infiltrated,
Of course. And
and
our
so
leaders
then
were killed.
yes, our
Yeah.
leaders were killed. And so then I think some of the trust issues started to pop up more like, okay, well, who can we trust in this
Right.
organization? I mean, even in today's world, in today's times, a lot of these organizations that we in, there's still a trust issue,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it's be among ourselves,
Right. Right.
and so unfortunately I think that goes way way back,
Yeah.
as far as trust among ourselves. I would say it even go back all the way to plantation times,
Right. Right. Yeah.
on who can we trust, I
Right.
mean, so this trust issue goes back a long time. And unfortunately it's sad because it's broken up a lot of our Black organizations over the years,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I mean, even I remember, like, I grew up in Dorchester. So I remember as a child, there was more than one or two Black business owners in the
Mhm.
community,
Mhm. Mhm.
and we could go down the street and say, hey, that's a Black owned business, and
Mhm.
our families are going in there and we're buying from them and we're supporting each other.
Yeah.
And then I noticed, like, over the years, a lot of our Black business owners sold their businesses, and
Yep.
other, races of people have bought those businesses, and so now we don't even hardly see nothing black owned in the community anymore.
Yep. Yep.
And that's like from the 1970s, where we had more black owned businesses, and now there's hardly any
Any.
in a city, and that's a shame.
Right.
But I mean, there has been different initiatives out there, like different organizations trying to come together. They say that there's like now like there's a new Black Panther Party, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
There's other black organizations now that are trying to come together. And so and we've heard over the years like black folks coming together, building coming together, bringing their money together and building
Mm-hmm.
properties together down like in the South. They're coming together, they're pulling their money together, and they're buying land,
Mm-hmm.
and they're buying their own houses, and they're having their own security. So there are some black folks out here among and around the United States that are trying to come together and build and more and have more economic power
Right.
with
Right.
each other. So but it's sad because I think of when we had Black Wall Street, we had that power. We
Yeah.
had the economic power. And what happened?
Yeah.
The government destroyed it.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
seems like every time we get something, other races want to just destroy what we've built
Right.
and what we've come across. So it's not like black people haven't tried to come together. We have.
Right.
We
right.
have come together over the years.
Right.
But because of jealousy and because of other races don't want to see us get ahead, it's been a downfall for us.
Right.
But so that gives me hope
Mm-hmm.
that there are some black folks out here trying to make sure that they're looking out for each other. I see now today more unification with black folks come together and being more economic, building economic power
Yeah.
together. I see it. I do see it. So there is hope for us. It's
Right.
taken a long time, but,
Right.
but there is hope.
Right. Right. And we just have to stay. We can't give up. We just
We
got to
can't.
keep
We
moving
can't.
forward. And unfortunately, though, some of our greatest leaders are gone.
Yeah.
But that's where the young folks come in.
Right. That's
Build
right.
them up.
That's where the young folks
Build
come
them
in.
up.
That's right.
Yeah. So you said you all have a meeting on Thursdays at the
Eastern Service
So-
Workers
yeah.
Association. Yeah, we have meetings every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
mhm.
And we all gather together and we all discuss like what's going on our jobs. Is our bosses treating us fair? Are we
Mhm.
getting the right pay? So
Mhm.
yeah, we do that every Thursday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
It's not a union, right?
No,
It's
it's not a union.
Mhm.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nope. And then with that organization, they don't accept any government funding. It's
Yeah.
only so.
That's another thing too that hinders us. When you get money from the government.
right.
That's one thing I like about the Nation of Islam, that they don't take government funding.
Good.
They don't get any funding from the
Mhm.
government,
Mhm.
but everything's done by their members.
Right.
So,
Right.
but you know, we as a people, we're still here and we're here for a reason.
That's
and so
right.
we just have to keep it going.
Right. Look at
Keep
all
it
the
going.
things that we've been through, all the suffering we've been through, all the persecution we've been through,
Yeah.
all the lynchings, all the, just the discrimination.
And the thing about it,
Ugh.
these things are still happening today.
It is.
It
It is. There's still lynchings going on.
Yes.
There's still, discrimination going on. It's still going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's still going on. It's just a different time period, but it's still going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I appreciate you, for coming out and just giving us this information. I'm very supportive and happy about the book bag giveaway. I'm quite sure.
Yes.
We'll have the flyer out by next week, so
Right.
people will know. And
There's also another book bag drive going on August 22nd
mhm.
at the Grace
Grace Church of All
Grace
Nations.
Church of All Nations. That's
Mm-hmm.
on 33 Elm Hill Ave. I believe that's August 22nd.
Okay.
So there's
All
also
right.
another book bag giveaway
Okay.
going on
Okay.
also besides ours. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's important, the kid, it's, the parents are struggling
Yeah,
and
they
it's
are.
hard. And
Yeah.
so, with these giveaways, it's really helpful for the community. It's really helpful for the children. And that's what we need. That's what we have
Right.
to continue to keep doing.
Right.
As long as we can keep doing the fundraising and raising the funds to
Mm-hmm.
buy these book bags, then, we're going to do whatever we can for for these communities.
Well, that's great. That's great to know, and it's great to be part of something positive, and so we just have to keep on pushing and trust and
Keep
believe.
on keeping on.
That's so true. That's so true. And so there was another organization that you said you is the library. You all do
so
something
there's
in the
another
library.
group I'm in called Unity in the Community, which is based out of True Era Entertainment. And
Now, what's True Era Entertainment?
So True Era Entertainment, it's a man that I work with, and we all call him Heavy, and he has his own company, True Ever Entertainment, and so he works around like entertainment, security. He does stuff like that, and so so one section of his company is called Unity in the Community, which is where I fall in. And so I help Heavy with community events, and that's what we're doing. And so how we came up with this idea is because we were doing Motivational Monday podcast. So we had a podcast every Monday. And so we would just talk about different topics, different issues, and we would do it either through Zoom or through Clubhouse. And it was called Motivational Monday.
Okay.
So we figured, you know what? Let's take Motivational Monday podcast to the streets.
Okay.
So we did. And so that's how we started to figure out, okay, you know what? Let's take this to the libraries. And so that's how we started working with the libraries and talking about different topics. And so that's how we gathered up different non-profit organizations and vendors to come together to talk about, what they're doing in the community, what other nonprofits are going, what we're doing in the community, and how we can help support each other.
Right.
So, for instance, like we had just a couple of weeks ago when we was at Common Square Library, we had the Boston Public Health Commission there. We had another group there called United Communities Corp. And they work around harm reduction.
Okay.
So we had them there. We had, so we had different speakers there. We had Antonia, who works on the reparations task force.
Right.
So we had her there. So we had different organizations there to speak about what they do in the community. And so, like I said, our next Unity and Community event is August 17th at the Grove Hall Library, and that's from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. We'll be at the Grove Hall Library. And then we're going to hopefully, after that, we'll have another forum like at the Nubian Square Library.
Okay. Well, I think it's called the Shaw Library now. They
wow.
changed the name, yeah.
When did they change the name?
I think it happened not this past weekend, but the weekend before that.
Who they name her?
After Sarah and Shaw.
What? Oh, she
Yeah.
passed away?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe 2 years ago, I want to say, but maybe not. I might be wrong. But
Yeah, I remember knocking on her doors when I would do door knocking.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they decided to name it after her, which she was an awesome woman.
She was one of our first
trailblazers.
On TV.
Yeah.
Like what? We have a black journalist on TV. Like she was our hero.
Yeah. And she was very active in the
Very
community.
active.
Yeah.
Always going to different meetings in the community.
Yeah.
I remember her always going to now it used to be called Roxbury Library, but the Dudley, like whatever, so many different
We
names.
did a lot of different
Yeah,
meetings
she
there.
used to.
Yeah.
I remember her being at those meetings along with Chuck Turner, being at some
God
of those
rest
meetings
his
down
soul.
at the library
Yeah.
in Roxbury.
Yeah. I worked with Chuck the last couple of years of his life, and it was
Wow.
with-
Yes, he
with-
was
with
one
the
of my
Boston,
mentors.
Boston Job Coalition, as well as Boston Workers
Right,
Alliance. All
because
these.
it was all behind Chuck Turner's idea,
Yeah.
starting Boston Workers Alliance, because through his D7 District 7 roundtable meetings that he would have at the church,
Yeah.
and he would sit down with the people in the community and find out what was going on, and that's how he started through an intern that he had named Aaron, and that's how
Aaron
Boston Workers
Tanaka.
Alliance started.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I always try to give him, along with Mel King,
Yeah.
my praise, because they were my mentors, Chuck
Right.
Turner and Mel King,
Yeah.
and I've worked with them, over the years. And
r-
so, I always like to remember them and keep them
Right.
in my spirit. And along with Diane Wilkerson, I
Mhm.
have to say too, she's one of my mentors as well.
Mhm.
So, some of our great leaders are gone now, but and also
Mhm.
Kwame Jackson. I
Mhm.
remember working with him too,
Right.
and he passed away. But now he was also,
Yeah.
he knew my dad
Mhm.
when my dad was alive. He worked with my father actually with the um, Greater Roxbury Cab Association.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
Yep. Yep. I
yeah,
know there was a lot of. I remember Tito Jackson's
yep,
father.
yep. Kwame,
Cool.
yeah, yeah,
Yep. And a lot of them. Makia Baker Gomez. She was my
yes,
mentor. We worked so well together.
yes.
But they're all gone now. So
Mhm.
we have to pass the torch.
We
We have
have to,
to.
yes, because there's so much knowledge that we have that we can pass on. So
Yeah.
whatever we know or whatever we've experienced out there doing community work, we can pass it on to the younger people.
Yeah. And I think we're just about out of time. I got 1 minute. So, again, August 15th, Torchlight 2 Washington Street, right next to Muhammad's Mosque, number 11. We will be giving out good book bags for the community. So, come out and if you need more information, Terry, you want to give your number?
Um,
Or your email?
yeah,
Yeah.
sure. So my email is terryhinton1@gmail.com. And yeah, and also remember August 17th we'll be at the Grove Hall Library with different nonprofits. So if you feel free to come out for that too.
Also, if you need more information, you could give me a call at 617-515-6908. And we thank you for listening.
Thank
And
you for
we
having
ask,
me.
yeah, thank you for coming on. And people, remember, we are the people and we have the power. Unless, September 1st is election day, August 22nd
Get
is
out
the
and vote.
first day of,
This is the primary.
yes, is the, August 22nd is the last